Hello, I'm Macy France, and I'm going to go over the different environmentalism perspectives in my personal worldview as well as my family and friends' perspectives. Here are all the different worldviews. We have land ethics, deep ecology, social ecology, ecofeminism, and aesthetics. In the next few slides, I will be going over each worldview. Starting off, we have land ethics. Land ethics was founded by Aldo Leopold. His idea was that the idea of community expands to the environment. It's not just about individuals or small communities. We use nature for hunting, farming, gathering, and use of all natural resources. So we must keep that integrity of it and protect and conserve the land. According to the Aldo Leopold Foundation, they write that we have a moral code of conduct. We are ethically responsible to take care of the environment, and that we need to be intertwining humans' relationship with the land. Byron Ness is the most known person connected to deep ecology. So, deep ecology is the belief that humans must change the relationship they have with nature because we use nature. It's a principle that human life is just one of many, and we are all equal with the whole ecosystem. That's why Ness believes it's more than trying to protect and conserve. It's becoming self-recognizing and knowing that you are equal with everything. And it kind of connects with the land ethics, but Ness went further and came up with deep ecology. Now we are looking at social ecology. Murray Bookchin was an environmental activist who first introduced social ecology. Michael Boland, who wrote the environmental ethics textbook, explains that Bookchin believed that there needed to be a reform with society from the top to bottom. It's a study of how people interact with the environment and how it affects society and the environment. He also thought that we needed to put more focus on capitalism and the government and how they are interacting with the environment in not a good way. And with all the power of economic growth, there causes the domination and destruction of nature. Francois Dubon founded ecofeminism. She had made the connection in uniting feminism and environmentalism together. This connection that she made was that in a male-dominated society, both are being dominated. So, author of Ecofeminism in the Science Direct, Susan Buckingham writes that the goal with the worldview is to reverse the current values in our society, to make it a non-male-dominated society. And ecofeminism is meant to uplift both women and nature because they do go hand in hand. Jenna Thompson was the founder of Aesthetics of Nature. So her principle was that we are concerned about the beauty of nature. Beauty is an intrinsic good. This is something that's worthwhile for its own sake, so we must have an ethical goal to increase the intrinsic good. If everyone followed this duty to be ethical, then we will all be promoting and protecting beauty, which beauty would be nature. Now that we've gone over each environmentalist perspectives, let's go over my personal worldviews. Social ecology is the top one I agree with the most. Then land ethics and deep ecology are also very close to what I believe. But while I do agree with some parts of ecofeminism and aesthetics, they don't fully align with my worldviews. The next two slides I will go over each one and why I rated them this way. So let's look at the top three worldviews. We have social ecology, land ethics, and deep ecology. For me, I find that I really agree with a lot of what social ecology is about. Social ecology is viewing the interactions humans have with the environment, and depending on how they act is how it will affect the environment in the society. I agree with this because I think that people are more concerned with gaining as much as possible and not being concerned about the potential consequences it will have on the environment. I believe we really need to see a reform of our society because our current interaction is causing such destruction to the environment. Then there's land ethics. This is second. I also agree that we all must be united with nature because it is what sustains us. We can use the land for hunting, gathering, and using natural resources, but it's also important to know that the land gives us life and that we must begin protecting to continue on living on. But for me, I don't think it gave enough attention to capitalism and the government's important role of nature's destruction. And I feel like that is such an important part of recognizing when it comes to wanting to protect and preserve the environment. I also loved deep ecology's perspective, because it highlights that we are equal to everything in the ecosystem, and we've caused such a great imbalance in our ecosystem, and we need to realize that we are all connected. This was something that I agreed with very early on my academic career, but I've learned more and find that I still very much agree with it, but I've noticed that humans are concerned with gaining, which again is why I find myself more in line with social ecology. And the thing that that I think that we must reform our societies. Now, the bottom two worldviews for me are aesthetics and ecofeminism. Aesthetics of nature is one that I really agreed with at the beginning of my academic career. But with gaining more knowledge, I have a better understanding of what we are actively doing to the environment and what we aren't doing to fix it. I feel like this is more of a superficial view because we are focusing on the beauty and thinking that in order that we must protect to keep the beauty, which again, I still do agree with, but not as much. Then we have ecofeminism. This is an interesting perspective, and I do agree with some things, but I've never personally associated male-dominant world being a root cause for destruction on nature. I think that it's a powerful movement, but the destruction of nature is caused by everyone. I wouldn't say it's with the domination of just men. So throughout my academic career, I've had so many different changes. So I can very much see that my worldview will change in the future. As I brought up in previous slides, I used to have an aesthetic outlook on the environment, but again, as I said, it changed a whole lot after learning everything. So I do think that there will be changes in my worldview as I continue my journey in environmental science. So let's look at my family's worldviews. I do want to point out, as I've learned, I've made a point to also teach the things I've learned to my family. With that, their environmental worldview has changed drastically. So I think that my family has more of a land ethics and aesthetic outlook on the environment. My mom, for example, she has this beautiful butterfly garden. She has taken care of it and it looks absolutely amazing. She did this not only for the pollinators to help them and give them pollen, she also did this to be able to make her yard look good and for her to feel good out there and just to marvel at the beauty of it. But also, we also are always planting gardens. So like we're using the land to help provide for us. So we're doing gardens every single year. It sustains us. So in order for it to flourish, we're constantly watering it and making sure that the land stays fertile, and we take care of it in order to receive from it. Let's look at the worldview comparison with my family and myself. So my family has a worldview that's more leaning towards land ethics and aesthetics. They believe that nature is beautiful and must be preserved to enjoy it, which is why my mom takes great care of her butterfly garden so that she can enjoy it. Not only that, my family also believes that we need to have a better relationship with nature to better care and protect it so that we can continue on taking from the land to sustain us. And for my worldview, I do agree that we must realize that we are equal with the whole ecosystem and that we heavily rely on our ecosystem to continue on living. And we must take that connection and have a relationship with the environment and take care and protect. But it doesn't solely rely on one person to become self-realized, to understand that the relationship we must have with our environment. It's on all humans that we need. This is why I think and why I feel deeply in line with social ecology, is because I think that we need to reform our society. Because with only one person having that realization won't do nearly enough in a short amount of time. But if the whole society worked on a reform, um, then there would be a good noticeable difference in how the environment is treated. So my friend's worldview have more of an aesthetic of nature worldview. They find great joy in seeing nature and wildlife, and they want to preserve these areas to continue on enjoying them. I have this one particular friend who enjoys to go outside and identify all kinds of different species. And she's talked about how beautiful and calm it is, and she wants to continue on doing that. So for her, she is highly driven to protect and preserve nature so that she can further enjoy it and continue on identifying all of these species. To compare worldviews with my friends, they tend to focus on the beauty of nature and care about protecting to continue on enjoying. While I still do agree with this, especially towards the beginning of my academic career, I think that we are more responsible for protecting our environment. I love getting to enjoy nature, but we must have a reformation and have a stronger connection to our environment to really protect. This is the end of the presentation. Here's my resources. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me about my views on the environmentalism perspectives.